Podcasting from her kitchen table, it's Jacqueline J. Here with another episode of Cast Iron Skillet Chronicles, where we focus on faith, family, fun, and finance for my fierce, fly, and fabulous sisters over 40. Come on in the kitchen. Coffee's brewing. Pull up a chair and girl, let's talk. Now, here is your host for Cast Iron Skillet Chronicles, Jacqueline J. Welcome back to the kitchen. This week, we're going to talk about wills and trusts. If you look at Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 2, the scripture reads, "Then the Lord said to me, write my answer plainly on tablets, so that a runner can carry the correct message to others. This vision is for a future time. It describes the end, and it will be fulfilled. If it seems slow in coming, wait patiently, for it will surely take place. It will not be delayed." What vision do you have for the future of your family? We all have a date with destiny, some sooner than others. To those of you who have gone out and started your life insurance policies, excellent. Those of you who have yet to do so, I encourage you to get that done because, as I state on a number of occasions, tomorrow is not promised. For those of you who have businesses or are starting your business, you definitely need to pay particular attention. Now, you may be thinking, well, I don't have anything, so I don't need a will or a trust or anything of that nature. Totally not true. A will allows you to distribute property to loved ones or anyone you name, and also names guardians for any minor children you may have. A will could go through probate and is on the public record. Now, you may be thinking, well, okay, but I don't have much now. But again, if you have started a business, if you're running a business, if you're thinking about running a business, I'm sure your objective is to grow your business into something great and wonderful. This is just another one of the areas of making sure your financial house is in order. Now, if you do have minor children you're caring for, do you want the state to determine what happens to them? Don't make the mistake of thinking that they will automatically get to live with family members. If it's not stated in your will, if it's not properly documented, that could very well end up not being the case. So if maybe you don't have children or you don't have children that you're caring for, and you may not even own property, but a will outlines and is written documentation of your wishes, of those things that you wish to take place again once you're no longer here. And remember, if it's not in writing, it didn't happen. You can tell a family member, someone, comes to you and, they admire one of your family members or relatives, admires your china set or something of that nature. And you tell them that they can have that, at the appointed time, at the appropriate time. And, that's a wonderful thing. Now that's a conversation between you and that person. But if it's not documented, that china set could end up going to someone else that it wasn't intended for. And then we get the family fights and feuds ensue and all of that other kind of craziness and ugliness. Now, all of that can be avoided with a simple document called a will. Now, a living will, on the other hand, outlines who gets to speak for you in the event you can't speak for yourself due to a medical issue or say you're on life support. So, for example, those families that have had to deal with making medical decisions for their loved ones on life support due to COVID-19, a living will would have alleviated the burden of the family members of having to make those decisions. So it the living will does take the burden off the family to make those difficult decisions during a time when it's already a difficult situation. So again, documentation and writing and writing the vision, make it plain who gets what, how you want things to be handled, etc. Now, a trust is a mechanism used to avoid probate by transferring property from your name into that of a separate legal entity. And again, not just real estate, but any property you want to leave to your loved ones without court involvement and public record. The trust information is not public record. But who thinks about having either of these documents in place for a 22-year-old? At the very least, if there was a will in place, I would have been spared going through a multi-state probate process. The tragedy and pain of losing Chantal was hard enough. Having to go through probate just made it that much harder. Thankfully, it was a short process compared to probate cases that can take years to settle. And not only the time, but the expense involved. Depending upon ultimately what you do have and what assets need to be divided and things of that nature, you're getting the courts involved, you're getting attorneys involved. So even if you amassed a reasonable sized or reasonable amount of maybe cash and property, even outside of real estate, but cash and property, if you own a business, a brick and mortar business, if you own a building, if you own assets, equipment, and things of that nature, all of that may end up being sold off, and your heirs may end up getting little to nothing once the entire process has completed. So again, you don't need to have much to start the process, but you definitely want to have something in place so that it plays out in a manner that is ultimately helpful for your family. And in a subsequent broadcast or subsequent episode, we are going to go through the entire probate issues and processes and things of that nature. And again, that may end up being a series as well, because it's extremely important. It's again another extremely important piece to the whole financial, making sure our financial homes are in order to again pass on a legacy to our children and our children's children. So get started. Today is the day. Now is the time. And remember, tomorrow is not promised. Until next time, take care. Stay safe. Be kind to one another. Be kind to yourself. And be blessed. Bye now.